my attempt at starting a video without saying what's up guys, but what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we left off last time taking this thing pretty much completely apart, but didn't get all the way there. And it's been a minute since I filmed a video, but been pretty busy just doing a bunch of stuff. So first of all, I went drifting. Then I took the 450L, which doesn't have a seat on it right now because I only have one thrill seeker seat right now. So kind of sharing that between the R and the L. But took that thing to some urban hits in Hollywood, jumped that. Woo! Then we took David Dobrik's Tesla off the jump. I'm literally shaking right now. Oh my God. Not much faster. Right there? Yeah, right there. Oh my God! Then I helped host the San Diego Supercross. Then I went riding. So I've been very busy the past couple weeks. I wanted to do one video a week on the 110 build, but haven't really had the time to, so we are continuing with this today. But also got a ton of parts, so I wanted to unbox all this stuff, but I mean it's here, so I might as well show it now. But got the BBR swing arm, which I'm super stoked about. I think I'm gonna end up doing this a black though, get it powder coated with a bunch of other stuff I'll explain later. But got those. These are really nice triple clamps BBR makes for the 110. It's all new stuff, so you can see right there it says 2019 plus. So those are for the new stuff. I think I'm gonna leave these raw aluminum because they look pretty sweet. So everything else is gonna be pretty blacked out. But also I went ahead and got the new bars for the bike, which are a bit taller. These are like the 50 bend for Pro Taper instead of the 110 bend. These are cool, I guess, for the older models, but for the newer models, I feel like just the way, obviously you can't see it right now without the tank and seat on everything, just the way the saddle sits, I feel like the taller bars fit a little better. Also, since I last posted that video, I cleaned up the forks, I sent them off. I know it's kind of ridiculous, but I got the tops DLC coated, I got the lowers anodized black, so it's gonna be a completely blacked out setup on the 110. Never really seen that before, but I'm really stoked to show you guys when they get back. They should be back this week, so hopefully in next week's video they'll be here. Also, I wanted to tag the brand that did it. I'm super stoked. They had a really quick turnaround time. They don't just do 110 stuff. I know a lot of friends that have had their 250s and 450s and whatever. They'll just do custom coloring and do a really good job, and the guy's super awesome, and most importantly, they have a really quick turnaround time. And they are called SGB Racing. Again, they don't just do 110 stuff. They do, obviously they rarely do 110 stuff, so they normally do, you know, 450, 250, whatever you throw at them, they'll be able to powder coat, nitride coat, or in this case, I did DLC. I have, obviously, being a factory rider, have tested a ton of suspension parts, so I do notice a difference when it comes to the different coatings. Obviously, stock is gonna be the least best, but still, I mean, stock suspension is great, but once you start adding stuff to it, like the proper coating to the shafts and everything else, it really does kind of, I don't know, I always notice it in like the little chatter stuff, so definitely there's a huge performance gain to it, and as well as, I mean, looks are everything too, so huge looks gain too. But yeah, definitely hit those guys up if you want to do anything color, or if you're looking for a better performance out of your suspension, definitely hit those guys up. Really excited to get those things back. So today we're continuing on building the 110, and really excited to get this thing done. I'm pretty much there. You know, these bikes really only have like, it's like, I don't know, it doesn't have the under cradle, so I don't know what you would call this frame, but really just the engine is held in with like 3 bolts, so should be relatively easy from here on out to get the frame out. Then we're gonna send that off to powder coat. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the stock swing arm yet. I might get it powder coated too, but there's really no point because I'm definitely gonna be running the BBR. I've also thought maybe, because a lot of you guys hit me up after I've done a build like with the L or with the 252 stroke and want to know what I do with the spare parts. So I've been thinking about putting them on my website, which is SealySpeedFactory.com, where you can get all the merch and all that stuff. I think I might put stuff like that, like miscellaneous pieces like the swing arm, or maybe the stock suspension or stock wheels off the 252 stroke up on the website. So if you guys think that's a good idea, maybe comment, let me know. If you've seen anything in the past videos that you would like me to post on there, then go ahead and leave me a comment or DM me on Instagram or whatever, and I'll definitely consider it. I think that's gonna be the best way, because if I don't sell it, it just kind of clutters up and really isn't doing me any good. And if somebody's in need of some part like that, then I'd rather it be in your guys' hands than in mine. I think I'm gonna set this thing on the tripod like we always do and do a little time lapse of getting this thing torn down any more than it is. I'm also, towards the end of this video, just gonna be kind of going over everything I'm gonna powder coat. Got to disassemble the brake drums. Obviously the axles won't be getting powder coated, but just small stuff, you know, like I always like to go through, like this is just the little back brake rod, or whatever you want to call it, the back brake itself. Just small parts as I go, take these off, and yeah, just get them ready for powder coat or wherever they're going. But getting pretty close. I mean, it's only the second video and this thing's already pretty much torn apart, so we'll continue on from here. Also, real quick, just wanted to shout out the guys over at Thrill Seekers, because they sent me a matching seat for my L and for the 110, which is set to match this one that I have on my R right here. So I'd always just do the all black with red stripe. They can custom do anything you want, really. That was made to go good with, you know, both bikes. So the reason the seat's off is because they still have the gray area seat over here, but I'm gonna be throwing one just like this one on the L, and then have one to match for the 110. So continuing on. All right, so we got the front end off, and kind of funny, I haven't seen this in a while, but unsealed bearings. Interesting, but apparently the whole bike didn't evolve as quickly as the rest of the other bikes. And here we have just the stock, I don't know, again, unsealed bearings. I'm leaving this stuff off to the side. This is kind of the stuff I was talking about, where I'm just gonna start kind of accumulating some parts that I'm not gonna keep. So no real reason to hang on to this top clamp and these bars, so might end up throwing them on the website. I'll kind of keep you guys updated if that's the final decision there. But I was kind of nerding out on these clamps. Pretty cool. So as you can see, like, scratching this stuff up, these clamps quite a bit taller compared to the other ones, which I think are gonna be perfect with those taller bars too. But these two holes are what hold like the ignition key, so I was really stoked to see those on, you know, the new BVR application. This is the new number plate mounting points. So yeah, very solidly built piece of machinery right here. Stoked on the overall finish. And again, I think I'm just gonna leave these that raw billet color. Oh, and they're adjustable. They have two holes. You can see on the bottom, you can move the bar position forward or back, or right now in the forward position. So I'll probably leave them there. But yeah, probably throw these up on the site for sale along with these bars. And yeah, oh, another thing. I mentioned how the ECU was kind of just floating in the fender on the first, when I took apart the bike in the first build video. And so it sits here and it was literally just like floating. It looked like there's two mounting points. One of you guys, shout out to you, I'm not sure who it was, but linked me to the actual part number of the housing that holds that ECU in. So thank you very much, because I don't know if that's like that bad to have that thing, you know, just floating around, since it is a mini bike, but definitely keeps things a little cleaner down there. And I was hearing a rattle, so I'm assuming that's what it was. But I think what I'm gonna do from here on out is, like I said, just kind of take everything, basically taking the frame off the motor, not really taking the motor out. So take the frame off the motor, the pegs mount to the bottom, and then we'll just do that last. But take the swing arm off now, as well as the rear shock. Subframe is obviously, I guess it's not considered a subframe because it's actually mounted to the frame. But where the subframe would be is welded on, so that should all come out as one unit. And yeah, oh, another thing I mentioned in the other video was, see these stock throttle, if this thing will focus, this stock throttle, like obviously it has like a little bit of extra grip there. So this is made for like a child's hand, like your hand, an adult hand barely fits on this thing. So, and it has these weird ribs on it, so I don't really know why they do that. Obviously, I mean, the bike's not built for an adult, so I guess I just answered my own question. But this was for a CRF 125, and these cables are a bit longer too. They do have different mounting points there, but it came, I bought it as one unit actually on eBay, but it's a normal size throttle grip, so I'll be able to take this off, put a Renthal one back on it, or Pro Taper, or whatever I end up using. But the throttle cable length is what I'm really looking after, because even with these bars that were taller than stock, but still, you know, shorter than the ones I have now, I had to reroute the throttle cable through here. I see a lot of guys run the throttle upside down to compensate for the extra height, but what I did is they usually run underneath the frame right here. I ran them through here, which allowed me to run the throttle right side up just for looks, I guess. But again, with the taller clamps, taller bars, and everything kind of being in a different position now, those definitely weren't going to reach, especially with the throttle on the right side up. So went ahead and picked that stuff up, just a FYI if you guys are looking to build one of these things and are kind of frustrated with the throttle position. So again, throw this thing back on the tripod, and we will continue on with taking apart the 110. All right, so a little update. Got the stock swing arm off. Obviously had to break the chain in order to get that off, which was more of a process than I had originally thought. Obviously, breaking chains is never fun, but ended up breaking the chain and then breaking the chain breaker, like literally snapping it in half in the process. So good on that. And then right after I snapped it off, I realized it was a master link. So I don't know why I didn't even think about that. I'm used to like working with like the chains where you actually have to press on the master link, or I guess there is no master link, so you have to press on that link that links the whole thing together, whatever. Anyways, so broke the chain breaker, but whatever, that's nonsense anyways, because BBR was nice enough to send me not only a chain guide, but also a new chain, a gold one. So stoked on that. Also, one thing I forgot to mention that they had sent me was a fresh set of black wheels. I got these all set up. These ones, like I mentioned before, were spray painted just to hold me over for the meantime, but gonna go ahead and send those over to W, actually taking them there. They're gonna hopefully do the spokes in nipples black as well as the hubs. And I'm gonna take these drums over there with me just to have them powder coated in the same batch as the hubs so that the blacks match. Nothing too crazy, but also off camera, I went ahead and stripped down this subframe, just removed the stickers and, you know, the chain blocks and all that stuff. Have fresh set of stickers in here. Gonna throw those on as soon as this thing's done being powder coated. And yeah, I think that's everything getting caught up. I'm kind of making a pile over here, stuff that I might potentially list on my website. I'm gonna probably put the stock shock on there. I might hang on to that, I don't know yet, because I bought this a while back for an old 110 actually. I have not only a longer brake line, but I also have it's the same eye-to-eye length. You can see there, it's same eye to eye, so it doesn't change the ride height. The only thing is, this thing was super cheap, so I'm kind of worried about it, but at the same time, it's rated for like 160 pounds, I think, which is my weight, and then it has a dampening change. So I'm gonna try that thing out, put it on as soon as the bike's ready to go back together, but might hang on to that stock shock. If not, I'll list it on my website for sale. But yeah, gonna keep on keeping on and take this frame, literally take the frame off the motor right now. As well as kind of take off the airbox and all that other stock stuff. But yeah, it's coming along, and she's starting to be almost just a bare frame. Okay, so I know the time-lapse thing can kind of get repetitive, so I don't want to throw too much of that stuff in, so I thought I would kind of just do these quick updates as I go. But here we go. So I talked about the throttle body, like I got the new cables and stuff. So these are ran through here, and then they have these like hard line bends in them, and then obviously just go straight to the throttle body, so you know, it twists and opens up. But obviously simple enough. The reason I'm explaining that is because of these hard bends right here. I didn't know if these were gonna work, but it's just like, it just doesn't have the hard you know, housing around it to make the bend. So the throttle cables will end up working just fine. They're just these bolts, these 10 mil bolts underneath, so I just got to take those off, unhook it from the pole and the return, and we should be fine. So that's one thing I was kind of questioning, but there was just a black plastic cover right there, so I couldn't see what was going on. So I thought I'd update you guys on kind of that whole situation, because I feel like a lot of people are going to want to know that trick. BBR was the one that told me about this. They told me that the 125 throttle cables, and they didn't mention the throttle tube, but it was kind of sold as one unit, so I thought I would keep you guys informed on that whole situation. All right, so I skipped ahead a little bit, just removed some miscellaneous bolts, like the ones holding the airbox on, and then remove the frame mounts, I guess you could call them. But just wanted to show you guys how easy this is. It's literally the motor still in the stand, and the frame comes right off. So that's that. Essentially, it's pretty much ready to go. Like, I mean, all I really gotta do is like take some of the like rubber pieces out of the frame. This thing's ready for powder coat. I really wish I would have washed this thing beforehand. I thought it wasn't as dirty as it was, but turns out it is. I don't want this thing spring out on somebody, so do that myself. But yeah, pretty simple. I don't know, I might get this powder coated black, so I might take the peg mount off real quick, just to kind of keep it black on there. But I was actually kind of examining this thing off camera, and I want to kind of take, because this is the main case obviously, but this is like, I don't know, it's not, I don't know, it might be metal, but kind of want to take this off and see what's kind of going on under there, and then I might just get this done black too. This, and then this side piece too. So that side of the engine and this side will be black. I think that's what I'm doing. I'm not positive yet. I kind of want to drain the oil and see what's going on in there, and kind of just examine a few more things. Oh, I already had a BBR shifter, by the way. I bought that right when I got this thing, because, you know, adult feet don't fit the same way that kids' feet do on these things. But yeah, all in all, pretty simple. Okay guys, so this is pretty much gonna do it for this video. Just wanna say thanks for you guys for tuning in again, and remember to like, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. But before we go, I wanted to mention that I was filming on a little bit nicer camera this time. I had my Sony this time with a nicer mic, actually a really nice camera lens and mic. So if you guys liked it, let me know. It's a little bit heavier, so it's harder for me to hold, but if you guys like it better, I'll keep doing it. But anyways, this is kind of the final product. I still gotta clean the engine and the peg mounts and all that stuff. I guess I'm just gonna leave that. I might pull the shifter off actually now that I see it. But anyways, this is all the stuff I wanna get powder coated. I'm still on the fence about the front clamp or the top clamp. I will do the bottom clamp, swing arm, and then just a few little miscellaneous pieces, as well as obviously the frame. And yeah, the suspension's off. And then, like I mentioned before, these wheels are gonna be going to W. BBR supplied me with the rims, and then I'll be using the stock hubs, and hopefully get some new spokes and nipples, but they'll be black either way, full black setup. And then I mentioned earlier also that I want to do these with the wheels, just because I want that powder coat to match. But again, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Hopefully, I'm gonna try and go every week now. I really have to, it's like real crunch time now for me because I waited so long, but I really have like 3 complete weeks until I think there's a race going on. So I'll let you know, but stay tuned. Thank you guys.
Aside from my soul.